What's up YouTube? My name is Dyucrane, and in this video I'm going to be showing you my Excel file for Final Fantasy XIV. Now, let me explain to you what you're looking at. There are 8 tabs, one for each crafting job. Column A is just the group that the item resides in. For instance, 66 to 70, Dome and Steel Shield should have a check mark. So, let's check. 66 to 70 was it? Armor. Dome and Steel Shield does indeed have a check mark on it. So when I mark something as green, that means inside the game, it also should have a check mark. Now, column B, well, we already talked a little bit about column B just now, but its other purpose is that you can set the amount of items to craft. For instance, since my aim is to complete the crafting log, I have 1 in all of the red areas, signifying that I want to make 1 item of each of these in order to do so. Now there is a column B, but you don't have to worry about that. Column D shows the amount that you are able to craft, given the amount of items in your possession. This data is taken from another tab called Material List. Now, I have already filled in my inventory, meaning I went through every single item and put down everything that I have. So for instance, I have 5 grade 1 Reisui of Strength, 3 Strength Alkahest, 18 green glider leathers, and so on. Now back to the Armorer tab. Item E is, of course, just the item name, self-explanatory. And the columns after E I can show you now. Well, let's go back to column B. Column B is just there for me to order these items in the order that they are right now. Because for instance, if I wanted to look at all the green boxes that tell me that I'm able to craft these items, I can select all of this data and then sort it. All you have to know that column B is for ordering purposes. They are black because I don't really want to see those values. But as you can see, each cell in column B has a value starting from 1 in cell B2. Now in column F, that signifies the first item in the crafting list. For example, the item we're looking at is Deep Gold Alembic. Going back to the game, Deep Gold Alembic requires 3 Deep Gold Nuggets, 1 Stone Gold Nugget, 6 Ice Crystals, and 5 Earth Crystals. Going back to your Excel file, well, my Excel file, you can see that Deep Gold Ingot, but these values are formulas, not just numbers. Player quantity is obtained by Material List. It just takes these values here and transfers it over there. These 4 are a set. And since there are a possibility of 8 items, there are 8 of these sets. And what I mean by that is that there is a possibility of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now, since all of that is explained, I could go ahead and minimize all of that. Now, what my Excel file is telling me is that I can craft 6 Deep Gold Alembics, but I only have to craft 1 of them to complete my crafting log. So let's go ahead and do that to show you an example. Let's craft ourselves a Deep Gold Alembic. Now, you don't have to make a high quality item if you're only aiming to complete the crafting log, but since I want the experience, I'll go ahead and make these items high quality. Or try to make them high quality at least. So after you have crafted that item, we're gonna go ahead and desynthesize it in order to gain some items back to craft even more items for the crafting log. And as you can see, I got 3 Deep Gold Nuggets back, which is very helpful. And we're gonna go back to our Excel file, going to make this green and delete the number 1 because I don't have to craft it anymore. Go to Material List, look up the items used. Stone Gold Nugget, 33. You don't really have to change the values of the crystals because I have so many. It doesn't really matter. And that's it. Now, continuing to go down the list, you just craft whatever you can if you want. You gotta make sure you update the correct items. Well, that's it for those tabs. Just take this tab and multiply it by 8 because we have 8 crafting jobs. Now, in Material List, column A is the item, column B is your inventory. You keep track of this by going through every single item. Now, it might seem like it would take a while to do that, and you're right, it does. And the more retainers you have, the more time it would take. That's not quite true, but the more items you have, the more time it would take. Now, this is out of order a little bit. We're going to start with column D. Column D is the amount of items you need in total. Column C, however, is the amount required adjusted by player quantity, meaning I need 190 total, but I have 4 copper nickel nuggets, and therefore I need to craft 186 more or buy it off the market board. Column E is the method in which to get these items. Column F is the area or zone in which you want to go to get these items. For instance, for bamboo shoot, you want to go to Yangsha. But because it's an unspoiled node, you actually want to use a third-party website. This website being ffxivclock.com. Now for the rest, all of these in Yangsha you can harvest, or fish, or log, or even slay monsters to get the items that you wish. Column G is just extra nodes that would help you gather these items. Beyond column G is just some extra numbers that you don't have to worry about yourself. Alright, we're done with the 8 crafting job tabs, we're done with the material list. Let's go to data validation. In data validation, each column is the sum of all the 8 crafting jobs needed for each of the 8 sets. Meaning in this cell, it searches carpenter, goldsmith, blacksmith, armorer, leatherworker, weaver, alchemist, culinarian. It searches all of those and tells me how many I need. And since there are 8 possibilities, I have to do this 8 times. And this column is just the sum of all those other columns. That's all for data validation. And that's it for the bulk of this Excel file. The rest of the Excel file is not really needed for explanation. It's just for my personal database keeping, whatever you want to call it. But we'll go through it anyway. Blue Mage log. It's just for me to keep track of what I have completed and what I still need to do. Copied factory roll. This tab tells me which gear I need to roll on in copied factory. Pretty self-explanatory, right? Triple Triad cards. Tells me which Triple Triad cards I have. I kept track of all of them. And as you can see, I have 160. Well, you would think I have 160 if I didn't show you this. In column A, cell A1 actually, I have name. Total being 159. The formula is there for you to use. It counts all of this, subtracts 1. That's all there is to it. Dungeon tells you which dungeons you have unlocked or not. In the beginning, all of this would be red. Let me just show you as an example. All of this would be red, meaning you have not unlocked these dungeons yet. Now, when you do unlock it, you would make it green. Well, you can make it whatever color that you want, but I would make it green. This red here means I have not cleared it. However, I have unlocked it. If I make this green, that means I unlocked Anti-Tower, and I also have cleared it. But have I gotten the Triple Triad card? Right now it means no, I haven't. So I keep running it. Oh, look, I got the Triple Triad card. I'll make it green. So we'll go ahead and undo all that. And go to the next. Trials, same as dungeon, high-end trials. Raids, alliance raids. Now, the Dailies tab is actually pretty useless right now, but it was useful for the time that I was working on it. Dailies gives you these rewards. There may be other rewards that you care about, but these were the rewards that I cared about, so that's the only thing that I put down. Now for these, the Ixal delivery quest will level up the Ixals pretty fast. I believe it was 70 points each time you do it. And since this is tied into the items that you have in the other 8 tabs, you can signify what you want to turn into the Ixals and craft how many of those items that you want. For instance, Patrician Gaiters. It's a Weaver item. So you go to the Weaver tab and you look up, well, it's already there. You look up Patrician Gaiters and you want to craft 5 of them. So you go back to material list, see what items you want. If I hadn't marked all of these red areas with 1, the only ingredients that you would see are the ones that you would need for Patrician's Gaiters. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this so it won't mess with my data. Now for the hunting stuff tab, this is also a useless tab. It's mostly used now for ARR relics. As you can see, all the Book of Skyfires, Book of Skyfall, Skywind, Sky Earth, and Atma. Where to get your Atma. Let's say you have 11 of the 12 Atma, you don't know where the last one is. You just look what else you need. Let's say you need Bull. You go to Eastern Thanalan. That's all there is to it. Now the Aetherites tab is all the Aetherites in the game, telling you which ones you have attuned to, which ones you have unattuned to, and which ones you favored. This I haven't really updated. This is no longer my favorite destination, but it doesn't really matter because I don't use it anymore. Now the Sightseeing Log tab is actually a useful tab. Now even with this information, ARR sightseeing logs are still very hard to do. And because I have all the sightseeing logs, this is also a useless tab to me. But if you have not done your sightseeing logs, you should mark these cells with red. And then you select all of the data with Control A and sort. The order at which to sort would be to make all the red up top and then add another sort by time. If you want a more in-depth explanation on that, I'll give it to you in another episode. But each expansion is split by one space, so you can just Control A in one area and it will not affect the rest of the expansions. For instance, the one I have selected now is only for Heavensward. Here's the one for Stormblood, and this is the one for Shadowbringers. Poetic Gear Tracker. This is a useless tab for me as well. I only made it because I wanted to spend my poetics, and what better way than to gear up all my jobs. Here's Ironworks, Shire, Escape. The cities tab is self-explanatory. It just shows you where everything is. Finally, Blue Mage Spellbook. If you're still working on your Blue Mage, this book could be for you. It shows you the location of where to get the spells. As you can see, you can get Final Sting from Killer Wesp in Middle Enotia. You can also get it though from the Sunken Temple of Corn, but since this is where I got it, that's what I'm gonna stick to. And that's it for my Excel file. The most important thing about this Excel file is the crafting section. Now, if you want this file for your own, go ahead and give this video 1,000 likes, and then I'll post it up on Google Sheets or something for everyone to enjoy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.